Good morning, non-binary sluts and others. How's everybody doing?
You sure know how to get the people going early. Sorry, I'm
So
adjusting this way.
hard. Um, guys, it's been so long. It's
It
been 2 whole
has.
weeks without the Dynamite Diaries. Did you miss us? If you didn't, don't say anything.
I wish I could say like, guys, oh, I took a break to really just like rest and recharge, and I feel so much better now, and it's awesome, and I'm so back. I'm not. I'm gonna be honest with you. Life has been turning me every which way but loose. And in the midst of that, you want to know if you're already having a bad day. You know what makes it worse? Rest on Twitter. I haven't been able to
Oh,
do it lately. Oh, yeah. I haven't been able to do it lately with rest on Twitter. I look in bits and pieces. You know what really kicked me off for good for a minute? Um, was when I saw Tony Storm was gone. I said, "There's nothing left
it's
for me
rough.
here.
That is a rough.
There's nothing left for me here. There's nothing left for me here. I just had to step back. I saw Kazusada Higuchi has been forced into retirement due to injuries over in DDT. That sucks. Um, Not a lot of good news going around. Um, few things here and there. But overall,
It's been rough. Yeah, I mean, I'll also say like having my own little rough patch, but I think I'm gonna like not be on Twitter in like the month of April, maybe. But guys, oh yeah, stay tuned for the end because I'm gonna announce who the next guest is on Black Girl Wrestling, and you're all gonna be so excited. And you maybe won't believe me because it's coming out April 1st. So I don't know. Maybe I played too much.
you do, but still.
Well, guys, a lot. There's so much to talk about. First, let's address the elephant in the room. Okay, today is March 25th, 2026. And as many of you might know, and some of you, maybe if you live under a fucking rock, or if you're exactly 11 years old, maybe you don't know this. If you're 11 years old, don't watch this show.
Why are you watching the show? Like, yeah.
Call your parents. Today, 11 years ago, Zayn Malik left One Direction. And we've talked about the moments and the when and wheres of the show before because it was so impactful. I literally, in my head, it's like circled like another birthday or anniversary. Like I always know when it's Zayn Day. I always know because then 1 year after that, he dropped Mind of Mine, which we weren't supposed to like as One Direction stands, but I was sitting there listening to that shit in my big old age of hold ribbon. I can't do math. 2015. At my big old age of 13 and saying, hold on guys, I like R&B. I like what he got going on.
You want me to lie?
You want me to lie? And I hate Pillow Talk. That's my controversial take. I hate Pillow Talk. I've always hated that song. I think he picked the worst single. I think She is the best song on that album. I was listening to that earlier and I was like, every song on there is better than Pillow Talk. But lyric, let's talk about One Direction, okay? If you're willing. What are some of your? They don't have to even be your favorites. They can be sleeper hits.
We've talked about this so many times across different streams.
It's still Zayn Day. Like, come on, I'm not a god. And then some One Direction songs that you hate because I have those too.
Gotta Be You is obviously one of my favorites.
I hate that song. That's on my.
Dani, you see how I'm talking about my experiences? You'll get your turn. You'll get your turn. Okay? Thanks.
I just, of all places to start, I wasn't expecting you to say Gotta Be You. And what's funny, I want you to know I'm not BSing. I literally wrote 5 songs I hate. Gotta Be You is first.
I believe you. Moment is one of my absolute favorites.
You remember when that song came out and people were talking about like it was about this girl with cancer and it was about like this girl that wrote a fan fiction and she had cancer. Do you remember that? You don't remember that?
No, I remember being like really into it because Ed Sheeran wrote it, and so like all the Ed Sheeran written songs back then, I was super duper locked in for, which brings me to another one. Little Things is one of my favorites.
Such
Uh,
odd answers. Like,
Listen, man, at least you know I'm being honest.
that's true.
At least you
I,
know I'm being
you know what,
honest.
Lyric? I've never doubted that about you. I've never once said
Thank
I don't
you.
think you
That
should
means
tell
a
us
lot
the
to
truth
me.
because you have such terrible opinions that nobody would lie about that. You wouldn't tell people that.
Why would you say that to me?
Go ahead. That can't be a surprise.
My opinions are why do you believe my opinions are terrible? What makes my opinions terrible?
That's such a loaded question. Um, I think that
There's never been
you're
an opinion that I have had that I haven't been validated for later on.
no, because this is the thing. Just because you think it's valid in your head does not make that true. But please continue with your One Direction
So what are
list.
your so superior opinions?
Oh, okay. I'll get into it. Guys, and the thing is, you might say, Danielle, you're being harsh. The thing about One Direction is that they're objectively right and wrong answers. You
Okay,
can always mute her. It's
I
crazy.
I think yeah, that's crazy. I'll mute her instead.
No, it's true.
I think when Niall recently did an interview and he said one of his least favorite song to perform is "I Would," which I also hate.
Yeah,
Um,
it's not like
I hate.
I don't pay it any mind.
I think "Rock Me" is one of my favorites.
I love
Um,
Rock Me. That's
I like Diana. Um,
fantastic.
what else is great? Um, hmm.
My list is not necessarily favorites. It's like sleeper hits or
Okay,
songs I don't hear enough about.
let me look through my library.
Okay. I have 5 sleeper One Direction hits. Starting off with my favorite One Direction song, She's Not Afraid. That's my
That,
favorite One Direction song.
that's a fair.
Um
It's one of
next,
their least favorite though. I forgot
I
whose it is
and they're
specifically.
wrong. And they're wrong about that. And I'll tell you what, that album is generational. She's Not Afraid's up there. Through the Dark, I love that song.
Fair.
Um, Tell Me a Lie is so fun. I think that song is so
Tell
fun.
me I'm a screwed up mess.
Like, come on.
Listen, listen.
Listen. Another okay, a song I don't ever hear people talk about. Once in a Lifetime. I love that song. I think
Mm.
it's so pretty. And soft. And then but that's gotta be a mistake. I hate that song.
They don't know about us is one of my favorites.
They don't know about the things we do. They don't know about me and you. Like, come on.
That's one of my favorites. Also, Night Changes, of course. Like that's
That song I didn't like because it was as a single, and I listen to it now and it like really like fucks me up bad. I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, Liam is dead. Like, oh my god.
it's sick. It's sick. Like, and I think also too of just this brings me to another thing from well, not that era, but similar to that era that happened this week. I don't know if you all have watched it. The Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special came out this week. And what controversial opinion do you have, Dani?
No, I was just gonna say I haven't seen it yet. That's all.
Oh, sorry.
She's gonna jump me. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet.
I
I'm gonna
was
watch it on
so
Friday.
oh, I'm sorry. I was about to jump down your. I had
I
had
can
it.
find one.
If you saw my face, I had
Or I
it. I
can
said,
think of something.
what are you gonna say now? But I watched it today, and I'm not gonna spoil it.
No, it's okay.
Outside of any like clips you've probably seen, but I think even aside from just seeing like, oh my gosh, like the songs sound good and like like they were able to mimic the wardrobe in certain places. I think the coolest thing for me was being able to see Miley in good health. Like, just like,
Yeah, and enjoying doing this.
oh my gosh, like
Because for a long time she didn't want anything to do with it, and understandably so. But yeah,
I remember how big of a deal it was. Like if you didn't live during that time, like if you really weren't in the thick of it during that time, when Miley Cyrus crossed over into the Can't Be Tamed era, people acted like she shot a baby in broad daylight. Like
Montana's included.
when Miley Cyrus went into the bangers era, which deserves all of its cultural appropriation, criticisms and things like
You
that.
don't understand. She
You
was
don't-
at the club tatted up with her J's
But
on.
y'all also do not get it. So many people struggle to like, how do I say it? Like, so many people struggle to ever shed their Disney image or their Nickelodeon image to be able to launch a full-fledged career as an adult. Miley Cyrus like was willing to burn every single bridge for her independence and her freedom, and she has essentially had two careers. She literally became Hannah Montana in the sense of she's had two different, she was able to replicate success doing things her own way, like seeing her walk in there fully tattooed, you know. And I know some people say like we don't have divas anymore. Like Miley is a diva. Like she's a full-fledged diva. The way she stands, the way she walks, to like her clothes, her aura, the way she talks. Like she is a full-fledged diva. She's 33, which is crazy, but she had the streets on lock so long.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like there's no real way to put into words just how big Hannah Montana was. Like, for as much as there are things that are hits now and they're like whatever, like she ran the world, bruh. Because guess what? All of the kids that you knew, everybody was watching Hannah Montana. Everybody knew the songs. Everybody was begging to go see her on tour. And if you did not, like, I'm telling you, like, we just don't really have that anymore. And that's a whole conversation about, like, people don't have children's entertainment only designed for children anymore.
I mean, and she literally, I'm gonna be honest, like, she was the girl when it came for Disney making that super capitalist push in the sense of let's slap a logo on every possible item that we can find. You couldn't go to the clothes, like think of
everything was Hannah Montana.
Think about a Walmart or a Target, right? You can't go to the Bath and Body section without seeing Hannah Montana. You can't go to the clothes without seeing Hannah Montana. You can't go to the toys. You can't go to the video games. You can't go to the music. You can't go to any single thing.
Hannah Montana.
The world revolved around her. They were able to. Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I was just gonna say, like, and I think a lot of times, well, you can make your point first because I was gonna talk about pop culture.
I was just gonna say, like, to do that and to be able to maintain success, even like in the special, they talk about how like Miley had zero experience. She was a country. She was literally a country bumpkin from Nashville, Tennessee, who grew up to be a superstar. Like she was Hannah Montana, in so many different ways. I mean, it was so powerful to see her healthy, like just see her fully in charge of her own future and present and past.
I think a lot of people, like, for me, like, I don't know. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, 20 years of Hannah Montana. Like, this is really, like, doing something to them and, like, messing them up. I just don't even feel like it was that long ago. Like, I'm not pressed about it. Like, they were like, oh yeah, 20-year reunion. I was like, really? It's been 20 years? Like, it just, maybe because I've watched it more recently than that I'm, like, unaffected by it. But we've talked before about our favorite.
I am affected by
songs. Yeah. But also, I was, like, I'm a little bit younger than you. And so I said it nicely that time.
You did. No, that's what I was. I braced myself for
it. Move on.
I embraced myself for an insult, so I was kind of.
No, I was just gonna say I just am a couple years younger than you, so like, we just probably enjoyed that era differently.
Yeah, it was funny because today I watched it with my best friend, who I've been friends with since 6th grade, and my goddaughter, who was 9. And so when Hannah Montana came out, I was 8. So like to watch that with like a completely different, different generation who didn't experience it, who's around the
And
same.
it's a funny show still.
Yeah,
Like,
like
it's a funny show.
to experience that with like a whole different generation who didn't experience it and is in the same age that I was at that time. Like it was really weird. Like to
Oh, I'm sure. I
uh,
watched
yeah, that was weird.
what did I show? I showed a kid something the other day, and I was like, oh my god. But to that end, like Hannah Montana came out when I was 3, so I wasn't tuned in the first week. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why it doesn't feel as long to me, because I'm like, I remember like the it wasn't a spinoff, but like the second part, you know what I mean, of the
Yes,
show more than anything. Um
like with the movie and everything.
yeah, like that's what I remember most. And I'm like, that wasn't 20 years ago. So like I don't really feel, you know, maybe
Yes,
when Hannah Montana the movie turns 20 years old, I'll be like, you know,
we'll be old for real.
chopped and unk. Before we move on, we need to spread some negativity. I want you to tell me 3 to 5 One Direction songs that you hate.
I said I would. That's one that I hate.
You don't like I Would?
No.
I love that song.
Let me see.
What do you say? Is
I don't
that
really.
Love?
I don't
I
really. I don't really. I don't
I
really.
do.
Like, hold on.
I'll start.
I hate. I. I don't want to say I hate. Wait, no. Maybe. Do I hate Save You Tonight?
It's not important enough to
We
hate.
are Superman.
Not important enough to hate. I hate Perfect. I think it sounds terrible. I hate Gotta Be You. I hate Hey Angel. I hate Steal My Girl.
Yeah. Okay, I can agree with that. You know what? I think this is a really good time. Did you listen to the new Harry Styles album?
I did.
How? What'd you think? I think we're probably aligned if we're even talking about it like this.
I okay, so I love house music, dance music, EDM. What I don't love is pop synth. Um, this felt like you know what? And y'all know I love Harry. This felt like a lazy attempt at pop synth of someone who is too scared to go all the way into it. And so there are some songs where you're like not committing to that.
Yes.
And so some might say, "Oh, it's more experimental. It's more whatever." I knew what I wanted out of Harry Styles' new music, and I knew I wasn't gonna get it. I also, when he said it was disco, I also don't think this is disco.
Yep.
Um, but what I wanted was rock. What I wanted was Anna, Medicine, you know, all of that. It was it did. I think this album does not really have an identity, and I would have kept it in the drafts. But there are some songs that I like.
Yeah, I think I was really disappointed because honestly, Harry does have his flaws. I'm not going to dispute that. But when it comes to his albums, he's somebody I actually think really highly of,
Me too.
simply because I think his albums, each of them have been so different. And I think that he is really good about crafting an era and crafting a sound. I really enjoyed Harry's House for different reasons that I enjoyed Fine Line, from different reasons that I enjoyed self-titled. I enjoyed them all. And I typically have really liked his, how do I say it? Like, I've liked his willingness to take risks. I thought that was something that he did really well. I didn't see that here. And I think I was really disappointed because I really liked Aperture, but I realized
I
like
don't.
most of the, I liked Aperture for the sound that he said he was going for. You know, like I think it made sense for the sound that he said to expect. And then you listen to the
Kiss
album.
all the time, disco never.
Yes, like and where's like I wasn't feeling the house. Like I remember when Aperture came out, I said this sounds like a song you dance to in a European club with your eyes closed, that like that high volume just like overwhelm your senses. Like I said, so I expect an album of this feeling. Like I wanted to feel like EDM Euro summer type, vibes. That was not what we got at all. It was lazy.
It felt like you weren't.
If
It felt like you were scared to go all the way in.
And for me, I felt like it felt a lot like how I felt about Taylor Swift's last album. Because at first, I'm gonna be honest, I was really scared. I was really scared for album of the year. I was like, oh my man, this album of the year Grammy is really gonna be stacked. That says, you know, you're gonna
I
have
heard it.
Harry, you're gonna have Taylor, you're gonna have Beyonce, etc. Beyonce, you're so safe. I think that we could really wrap this up. That they not trying for real. They not working. They playing.
What I wanted from Harry was Baby Honey. And then he said, oh, we're gonna disco. And I said, Harry, I love disco. Don't say disco if you don't mean disco. He did not mean disco.
He did not mean disco. Yeah, I was just
Donna Summers. She's not here. That's not what this is. But yeah, let me see. Anything else we can talk about before Dynamite? Can I be totally honest? Outside of the beginning of Dynamite, I didn't really care.
Yeah, outside of the world title stuff, bro, I'm checked out. And it's even like I don't even want to say like I do have a lot of personal stuff going on, so I don't want to say like I just really don't like what the game has become. You know, I don't want to be one of those people, but I really don't like what the game has become. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I'm starting to feel like I'm seeing stuff, especially with the women's division. It's just like I'm bored of just I think I'm bored. You know, I look at people like Takesha. I'm bored. Willow. I'm bored. These are people I never want to say these things about. I never want to say these about because they're so amazing.
I think AEW is in a really weird spot, and I feel like we didn't have a show last week, but last week's Dynamite was very symbolic of that. It was just odd, and like it felt like there are gaps and there are people being used in ways that don't really make sense and put in positions that just don't really align. And so I think that one of the reasons it's so easy to criticize AEW had a show tonight, it was called Dynamite. I think one of the reasons it's so easy to criticize AEW is because we know the talent that works there. And so anytime things seem a little bit off, because that's the best way I can describe it right now for me, is just like it's a little bit off, it's missing something. And it's not the names, it's not the talent, it's not like whatever. Like right now, you look at the world title picture, everybody named Mama lined up for that world title. Some of the best wrestlers in the world lined up going after that world title. I don't know why I'm still unmoved. Besides my go to side, I don't know why as a whole, looking at your product, I'm still unmoved. But I think it's because you've decided that you're going to have 20 people going after this world title. And then we have 140, then we have an hour and 40 minutes left of the show that we got to do something else with. And those things don't feel very fleshed out in comparison.
Correct. Everything else is getting stalled, bro.
And everything else is stalled. And it's like, and we've said it before, and I'll shut up in a second, but like, don't let AEW convince you we have to live like this. We can have a fantastic world title scene and the rest of the show be good, right? It doesn't have to be either or.
I think there's a level of complacency here too. I think in the sense of because AEW is doing really well right now. I think commercially, they're doing really well and they deserve it. I think this roster has been working their asses off. However, I kind of feel like maybe they're like,
comments are so funny. I'm sorry.
No, I was about to say, like, I do think that part of it is maybe it's because it's WrestleMania season. So they're like, yeah, we just.
That's what it feels like.
And fair. I ain't gonna lie. That would be kind of fly. You wait, let WWE essentially neuter themselves for WrestleMania, and then you just
shit the bed, and then put on the fucking
craziest dynasty you could think of, And if
that I would respect. If they said we know niggas like Dani and Lyric not going nowhere, y'all can suffer for a couple of weeks, and then we go put on the show of all time.
And you got to think, especially they talking about, bro, Double or Nothing is in like a mini stadium. Like, all right, it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy. And here's the thing. This is the thing about AEW. We saw it last year, right? The build to Revolution always spoils us because you have to think it's the longest time you have to build any pay-per-view on the calendar. You get essentially almost 3 months. So the build to Revolution is always going to be spoiled. You're going to get spoiled compared to like just about every other show on the card. I mean, on the lineup for the year. However, that period between Revolution to Double or Nothing really do feel like you are Moses trying to part the Red Sea. Like, it's crazy. Like the things that Tony Khan gets away with between Revolution and Double or Nothing is nasty business.
Especially before Dynasty existed.
It's nasty. Oh, it was so bad. It was so
bad. They didn't have anything to show for it in between.
At least they got to pretend to care about Dynasty. They got to pretend to care. However, as y'all saw last year, y'all saw how they got us last year. Y'all saw how they got us. Y'all saw how they got us from Double or Nothing to All In. My goodness alive. Oh my. It's just cinematic. Blah, blah, blah. Baddest heifers on the floor. Now, there's a few wrenches in that plan though this year. Number one is the schedule.
Yes.
Double or Nothing you have in late May, but All In is now
the end of August. Yeah.
Rather than July 12th. And which means somewhere in the middle of there, you also have Forbidden Door. And from what it looks like, we're actually taking that seriously this year.
We'll see.
We'll see.
Yeah, I would say that I would venture to bet AEW hasn't decided for real if they're gonna take that seriously.
Yes,
now
we've started. Yes, it just
things.
Depends on how seriously, because if they take it really seriously, that means like Ospreay and Kenny are getting involved. If they just taking it semi-seriously, they're literally going to send all the people who left New Japan this year just to fight other New Japan people. It's going to be David Finlay, Gabe Kidd, and Clark Connors fighting United Empire.
In my opinion, because I look at this and I'm like, you know what? I hate to say it because it feels kind of jinxy, so I don't want to. What I will say is, none of this year works if, for any reason, Ospreay can't do August 30th.
Good Lord, no, it doesn't.
Nothing works. You know what I mean? So it's like, ain't no fucking way I'm sending that bitch out there to do Forbidden Door. Absolutely.
But you got to think, unfortunately, he's already made commitments.
Yes. And he was there in New Japan.
Ospreay showed up Ospreay showed up to New Japan before he showed up to AEW. He said, before I actually go back to my real job, I want you to know, God, y'all, I miss it so bad here. I miss it so bad here.
I don't obviously I don't know anything, but that feels like, that that trend that's like manipulation tactics to use on a healed individual. Like that's what that felt like to me. Because I was like, I feel like if Ospreay is able to say that now, like AEW can't tell him no.
Correct. No. That's
like if I plant those seeds now, then like guys, I said,
and especially you got to think New Japan. They essentially they're counting on this match. Callum Newman just won the New Japan Cup.
We got to do it. We got to do it.
And honestly, we need at least two, because we do need Callum to win one of these. At least one, because they got to protect
before August, player.
We need at least two, but he won't get two before August. You'll get the New Japan. You can get a New Japan rematch in the fall or the spring.
That works.
I mean, not the spring, but
I just keep thinking about it because it scares me in the way that what's different between this scenario and what I'm about to say is, the difference is we've established enough of a world title picture where we can pivot if we need to. But you all remember the feeling when you were looking around and we're saying, oh, what if Darby? Oh.
But the thing about Darby is I felt like we had so many options, right? Like there was a Hangman, there was a Ospreay, and I felt like last year felt up for grabs in a lot of ways, and I think it was. I think that's how we even ended up with Hangman. This year never felt up for grabs.
It's not up for grabs.
Look on the AEW website right now, bro. Literally,
it's just you go to buy tickets to All In, and then you say, "Do you want tickets to the Ospreay show?" That's the option. Like that's why I'm like, and like you knew that when they announced it, when they said we're running Wembley again. The only reason that you run Wembley again after taking a break in between and saying, you know what, I think we can fill this bitch up again, is William Peter Charles. That's the only reason. So that's why I'm like, okay, this is, we truly are all in on this one person, and this has to work. Because do I think that y'all can move tickets beyond him? Absolutely.
For sure.
Do I think that y'all have all of the talent in the world to put on an incredible show? Yes, and you will.
Correct.
But what you are telling us that you're counting on is Will Ospreay. So I don't know.
I will say, and also too,
bubble wrap in the world.
This is Tony Khan knows if you are able to stick the landing with this, Will Ospreay resigns forever. He will never go looking for anything else. He will never go chasing after a WrestleMania moment. Like he will never.
Bro, the way that's why I'm saying, bro, the way he was talking after the first, I was like, nigga, they had you with Jericho.
He got a tattoo. Like, he tattooed it on his body.
Bro, I'm having a time of my fucking life.
He didn't even work there.
That's why I'm like, if you can give him the world title at London and Wembley Stadium, first of all, it's gonna be incredible TV. That's gonna be a moment and a visual forever. But also, Will Ospreay might get Tony Khan's name tattooed on his forehead.
Nah, let me tell you something. If they get at least 50K in that stadium, and Billy Goat wins the world title in that stadium, he will literally stand in the middle of the streets of Stamford, Connecticut and say, fuck Triple H.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, if Billy Goat gets to win that title at Wembley, him and Tony Khan getting matching promise rings. Swear to God.
Literally, they might get married in Vegas right in smack dab at WrestleMania.
No, literally.
Like right in the smack.
Literally.
Like, not even playing. And hey man, I'm not mad at it. Tony has gotten smarter. Like these deals, anytime somebody do, we re-signing Kyle Fletcher years early. We re-signing giving Kevin Knight Supermax. Thekla, not even through her first deal, already re-signing. He said, we're not playing.
He started looking around and saying, "Who might be next?" And
if he goes out his way for certain people, for example, like WWE was like, we didn't even know Willow's deal was even coming up. They snatched her down so fast we couldn't even talk to her. Well, yes,
so keep it that way.
Yes, you're not allowed to ever talk to her.
This is the tightest ship that could ever possibly be run over here. That's the goal. Okay, that's why I'm like. I really think it just concerns me to a certain extent because it's like, all right, guys, but like, what the hell are we finna do?
And also, too, you've made it clear that because they've built out the world title scene so just complexly, you now have to do something significant with all these other guys by the time we get to Wembley. Like there are several people.
There must be something for Andrade.
You have to do something with Andrade, and you can't just throw all of them in a casino gauntlet. Because guess what? Only one of them can win.
No, it's not gonna happen.
And that's like you got to do something. Especially now, you backed yourself into a special, sneaky, crazy little corner. Hey man, he can't challenge for the world title, so he has to be doing something significant. He's never been in any singles title picture. Like he's never done any other singles title. Even though I will say this year, I think this is the perfect year. Like there is stuff for him to do. He's never done a Continental Classic. I think that's like a really easy layup, of something he can do this year. That's something he's never done. But yeah, you got to do something with Swerve.
As far as this Hangman thing, I just want it to be I want it to be clear that you guys know how like a couple years ago, like the president of the current president of the United States was like, well, I just like to deal in alternative facts. As far as it comes to Hangman challenging for the world title, I'll just be dealing with alternative facts. So that's not real to me, and it can't hurt me.
Yeah. There's no way this is going to last.
I literally thought tonight, I was like, oh, okay, Swerve's gonna beat Kenny, and then
Well, no,
Swerve's
I
gonna
knew
beat the EVP. Well, no, I knew Kenny was gonna challenge at Canada. I didn't know how we were gonna get there, but I was like, oh, if
Yeah.
Swerve get the EVP title, then he can just say that, that Hangman takes that back. But now what we just need to do is we just need to get in Kenny's head and have Kenny exercise his EVP powers to say, matter of fact, Hangman, I don't care what you said.
I'm gonna be honest. I think we're getting closer to that because the lies that Kenny's telling himself right now. I heard, bro, Kenny was lying so badly.
Out his fucking teeth, bro.
He said, yeah, and I've never called myself the god of professional wrestling. And
now that's not true.
He said, and I've never put myself above other people and said that I was superior to
even when I was at my evilest. You just made that up. And y'all know we're Team Canada down. Y'all know we love Kenny Omega. We love Kenny Omega.
He's a liar.
The match was the match was great. I loved it. Kenny Omega, you make me feel. But he grabbed that microphone the first time, and I was just like, you know what? Truly, never trust a man too much.
No.
Because it's like we were all there, like you on camera for years. And he said this is the second time he has made that statement. He's like, I've never once called myself the god of pro wrestling. Other people call me that. That's just not true.
It's not true. You literally tortured Hangman and Ospreay specifically, when it came to, you told him that he'll never be you. He couldn't lace your boots. You said that his G1 run, nobody clapped. You said nobody moved. You said they was in the stadiums. You said nobody cared about him. You said all of his 5-star matches from Dave Meltzer were fake. You said
he'll never be me. And Kenny got it. He's like, I never said that.
And then
I literally never said that. And the funniest part is the straight up pure baby face lying to our faces.
And everybody in the crowd is like, exactly.
Yep, you tell him, girl. Yes. And you know what? I'm right there beside him. I'm like, if that's the route we're going, that's fine. I'm also just a keeper of truth.
I'm side-eyeing him a little bit, but I still do support him.
Like, no, he is lying. I'm with you, but that is not true.
Whatever gets us to the world title, I'm down with it. He lying to me and I'm lying to him. Fuck it.
Guess we both ain't shit. Exactly. He's speaking his truth. Maybe not the truth, but his truth.
Yeah, Kenny was lying like crazy. 3 segments tonight, bro. It's just also too like, don't tempt me like this, y'all, if y'all not gonna pull the trigger. I really don't even really want the match for real. Like, if he ain't gonna win, please.
That's what I was concerned. I was like, look, it feels like we have so many things set up for MJF past August 12th that I don't believe that Kenny Omega is going to win this match. And we had said before, reintroducing Kenny to the main event scene, or not even to the main event scene, reintroducing Kenny to the world title scene, to me is very stupid and fruitless if he's not going to win it.
I agree. And also, too, he's already... MJF's beaten him before. I don't see the point of somebody who's not like some great Kenny Omega rival to have like 2 major, like of just like, I feel like Swerve is different in the sense of it feels like this is definitely going to be a long-term feud type thing, but MJF has always been just a one-off opponent. It doesn't feel.
Yeah, if you're not, I just don't really, and I get like y'all, it gives that y'all were in Canada and you need a massive match, which I understand to a certain extent, but like you can't be doing that with Kenny. But Kenny and the where we are in Kenny's career, I'm not fucking playing with y'all.
And also too of just like well, go ahead. I'll say this.
I was just gonna add and it's not that I don't think that he should have a match with MJF. I'm sure the match will be good. Their first match was really good, and Kenny was half dead. I'm sure the match will be good.
It was great.
It's just a matter of I think Kenny should be the world champion if he's going to be in a world title match, and that's not going to happen right now. So do we need to do this match right now?
And here's the thing, I don't want to be presumptive because obviously I I don't think he has a million years left in him, but I don't think like he's retiring this year or anything. So there's still time, realistically, to get things done if they don't happen this year specifically. Even though I do believe it should happen this year specifically, um, against Osprey specifically. But
at Wembley.
yes, I say all to say it, but I hate to get into comparing folks, but if Mox got the main event stadium for AEW and Brian Danielson, who, no shade, I love Dragon and I loved his run at AEW. He was only there active for 3 years. He was only active for 3 years out of the 7. And yes, Kenny was injured during that time, but I think an injury and just not being around at all he's one of the founding fathers of the company.
Yeah, it's Kenny Omega.
In more ways than one. AEW's whole style, whole swag, whole approach to wrestling, that is Omegaism. Literally,
truly.
Osprey, Kyle Fletcher, those guys who are the current, the now and the future.
His biological son and grandson.
Correct. Hangman, main character. Like this, all this shit go through Kenny. It all goes through Kenny. And like if he isn't able, I don't care what he's saying behind the scenes. I know he talks crazy.
Yeah, that's the important thing to add.
I'm gonna say
like, oh, well, it's probably Kenny himself. I don't care. I'm not listening to him.
Just how you and the Bucks had the strong arm Sting into accepting that title.
I'm pulling rank. You're Kenny Omega.
We're not playing with you. We're not playing with you. We with Wembley Stadium versus Will Ospreay for the AEW Championship in the main event. We're not asking.
That's it.
And what's happening is it's scary. Like it's scary because, how do I say this? AEW is very transparent in a lot of ways. And just how they were this time last year is because they start telling two different stories at the same time. Obviously, one is the one that they actually think is going to be the plan, but they're also doing another story just to see if y'all fuck with it. Which is last year, while they were building Darby as it seemed like he was going to be the next, big thing heading into, there was also this Hangman subplot happening. Especially starting with Revolution. Hangman hadn't won any of his pay-per-view matches. And so he finally beat MJF. And so it was kind of nudge. It didn't tell you like, oh, we about to take this all the way to All In. But it was like, okay. When does this
not dying?
Because, he typically loses all the time. No shade. But it's just like, maybe we turned the corner.
Loser.
And then he wasn't on Dynasty. So it was like, okay, maybe not. Then he enters the and it's like, whoa. At ease. But this is all happening. Then you start finding out like, oh, maybe Darby won't be back in time. Maybe what's about to happen? And then it feels very similar to what's happening right now. They're telling two stories because obviously on the first, the first Dynamite of the year, Kenny's like, I'm on the road to redemption this year and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. And like, it's going to be, and I'm climbing back to the world title. And so we have this happening. And then, so he finally gets this challenge and it's on pay-per-view and then it's his home country. And it's like, okay, like obviously Will Ospreay is already, we know he's going to All In, right? But,
well, yes.
But so now there's one other person we have to fit.
It's funny that we can pencil in Ospreay for the main event
and he's not even the champion. Like, and that's real power.
But Billy Goat will be there.
But I say all that to say, I'm just like, you have that happening, and now they're like, oh yeah, Darby wants the world title again, and he has history with MJF, and it's so okay. And it's like, I think
we got grown man businesses tend.
How do I say this? Like, even when Ospreay posted that picture of him and Kenny eating them donuts, I said they're campaigning.
No, they're not that.
No, they're campaigning. And I said, You know, just like Hangman started campaigning last year. He did. He did. It's more subtle, but he sent a signal, a secret spidey sense to his fan base. It was basically saying, all right,
wake up. Hey man, I can't be saying too much because it's gonna be on the nose, but don't y'all like that? You guys start telling niggas you like that. You know?
That's
And
why.
it's funny because I won't name too many names, but this is around the season. You got lots of people trying to activate their fan bases to say, guys, well, like, don't you love me? Because, like, we're starting to put together these all-in plans, and I'm not seeing my name on there. So you're going to see a lot more not very subtle campaigning.
A lot of fans.
But those with motion have already started to, and what's funny is that they think that they're 3 steps ahead, and that like fans don't know what they're doing. And so you see a picture of Kenny and Ospreay together, and you're like, wow, look how cool they are. I wish they would fight again. If only there was a place where
and people just start posting
massive match.
People start doing, oh yeah, here's an edit from their first match. This
like we not dumb. We know what you want.
It starts organically. And here's the thing, they've already told you.
The people have spoken. It wasn't me.
Ospreay know that he's gonna be there. You know, he knows that he's gonna be there. But he y'all, unfortunately, y'all know how he'll get his friends booked. He will.
And you know what?
I want Kenny there with me. He did an interview while he was injured. He said, yeah, my dream would be like the main event versus Kenny and stuff. Like, we're on the same page. We're all on the same page here.
I'm right there with you.
But I do think that there's this leftover sense of, I don't know if it's loyalty or obligation, that I think that maybe TK, or I don't know if it's like all of like AEW administration feels towards like, oh, we still owe Darby a world title reign.
Let me.
The tickets have times on them. I don't know if you read them. I don't know if you read your tickets for the museum, but they have times on them. And so if you miss your time, unfortunately, you can't just sign up in another slot.
I am so incredibly not fucking worried about Darby Allin. And here's the thing, like I know that he's added to the list of folks that challenge it to the world title, and he seems like the only one of that list who was supposed to be world champion and then has yet to be world champion. Everybody else, it just feels like you're making an honest attempt. This is not an honest attempt at a world championship by Darby Allin. This is an attempt to recoup something that he missed. And you know what? Sometimes your flight leaves without you. We had a boarding time. They tell you to get to TSA early.
No tickets, no skates.
And that's why I'm like, look, of all my disaster planning of like, well, how the hell we gonna book All In? I say we like I'm on a team. How the hell we gonna book All In? Right? I'm not worried about Darby fucking Allin. Now here's what I think is more likely than anything. Like, it would not surprise me if they have MJF hold on to that title and him drop it to Ospreay. But the thing is, like,
the biggest
I gotta get Kenny in there.
The biggest problem that I do have with, here's the thing, if Kenny, outside of me being a major Kenny Omega fan, listen, the MJ title reign has been really good. I mean, true.
Yeah.
Like, if it's not Kenny, then I think like Max should just hold on to the belt. But I don't think him and Ospreay have great chemistry. I didn't really like their previous 2 matches very much. Like, I think that
long ass fucking match,
and even the one that they had at Wembley, it was good, but it wasn't like, oh my gosh, like this is a big rivalry I want to see again. Like, I'm actually cool if they never work each other again.
Me neither. And it's like I like watching both of them wrestle individually. For some reason, it does not. I know a lot of people love it. I agree, and that it didn't necessarily click for me. But I think that the main event of Wembley would become more of an aura thing than it would be like a match.
Correct.
And like, you have the potential to have both. with Kenny.
Agree. I think that, and I think Swerve and Danielson is probably the closest, like it is like the vibe that I think that you should always go for, in the sense of spectacle meets ability. Like I think, like, it felt like such a big spectacle of a match, but it was also a really great wrestling match, and that's what I would like to see. Don't get me wrong, I think that MJF has curbed a lot of his worser instincts. I think that Ospreay has in the ring to a certain extent, or at least I hope. Unless his,
but they're not going to be able to do that when they get against each other.
Yeah, they bring out the worst in each other.
You know why? I think because they are so similar and they don't see the similarities.
Correct, and they have, like, how do I say it? Like, MJF has a very old school approach. I think Ospreay has a very new school approach, and they think that they are polar opposites. Exactly. They are exactly the same.
Exactly. Exactly.
They are exactly the same. They believe that they are.
They really do, like,
completely different.
And it's like, no, this is the reason that we. But I digress. But that's what I need. So TLDR, I'm not fucking worried about Darby fucking Allin. It needs to be Kenny. If it's not Kenny, it should just be MJF.
I'm gonna be honest. If it's not Kenny, we should just cancel it.
If it's not Kenny, look, if I'm being totally honest, if it's not Kenny, I don't know if I get on a plane. And I don't mean that in like
I'm not. I'll tell you right now, I'm not.
Sense, just in like not. Genuinely, like, flight is $1,000 fucking round trip, like. And if I'm going to spend that money, I want to see the biggest thing y'all got.
Correct. And y'all done told me Tony Storm ain't coming. Oh, no.
Like, guys. So I tweeted the other day, I'm like, AEW, like, I won't even tell nobody. Just quietly tell me what the main event is going to be. And that way I can book the flight. Like, or I can be cool off it. But... Yeah. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not kidding. I really think that will have a huge, No,
I know it will. Just because I know for a fact, like, how do I say it? If it had been Mox versus Ospreay, I would not have last year. I would not. I would have gone, but I wouldn't have stayed because I had already had plans to like hang out with people I knew from college. I wouldn't have stayed that whole week. I'm gonna be honest. I probably would have flew in on maybe Friday, left on Sunday, like really quick trip. Like,
if this match at All In is Darby versus Ospreay, I want a refund for the ticket I haven't bought. Is my ass not going?
Yo, that's one of the funniest things you've ever said.
Hell no.
Oh,
brother.
Listen, I think, yeah, for me personally, if it ends up being, especially if it ends up being like MJF versus Ospreay, I'm gonna just be real with you. I'll just go to Double or Nothing. If I gotta go see an MJF main event, I'll just go to a show closer that I don't have to.
If I gotta.
Yeah, like, because obviously I go to at least one AEW pay-per-view a year. But so like if I'm making
2 years. No, that's not true. I literally went to All In last year.
So you just fade that out.
But no, All In last year was different. All In was like, that was like a girls trip. I mean, like, gone just for the purpose.
And no, and here's the thing. This year, like, it even so, like, it has to be a girls trip. Like, it has
to be like, trip. If I'm gonna cross the fucking ocean, it has to be an experience.
And so if you have not convinced me or my homegirls to make this trip, we're not going. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'll just go to either. I wish I had to, because here's the thing. I feel so scared because part of me is just like, bite the bullet. Just go to Vancouver, bro. Just go to Vancouver. Figure it out. Go to Vancouver. But the thing is, every time I've ever seen Kenny wrestle in person, he's lost. I'm kind of scared.
Oh, so it's you.
And so that's why I say I'm not going to go. But if I don't go, and he loses anyway, and he doesn't end up going to like the All In main event, I'm gonna feel bad because here's the thing: if he was gonna lose anyway, I might as well have just seen him then. If I want to see Kenny Omega main event in a big show, could have just gone in.
Well, I think it's if he loses, I'm still gonna blame it on you because you spoke on it. So
what I do?
I know I'm just superstitious to the point.
Was Lyric at Forbidden Door Toronto? Yes.
Yep.
I was at Forbidden Door Toronto. Where else did he wrestle? He wrestled at Full Gear 23. He lost there. I went to All In 23. He lost there. I went to Was he at Revolution 24? No.
No, I don't know.
I think he was injured still. Yeah. Every time. Oh, I went to All In last year. He lost to Okada. So, yeah. It's rough. It gets rough.
I am not interested.
I go to at least one AEW show a year, and I go to at least one New Japan show a year,
and 3 WWE shows every year.
You go to 3?
Yep.
Oh, because I know you went to 1 last year, right?
Did I go to 1 last year? I went to the Royal Rumble when it was in my city, just because it was the Royal Rumble in my city. Yeah. I didn't pay for tickets. They've gotten nary $1 out of me.
Last time I went to a show, was that 2023 or 2024 when I went to SmackDown when it came to my city? Because like I wanted to see Bianca Belair.
That'll do it.
Yeah, I went in the Bianca Belair sweatshirt, and I left.
I went to the Royal Rumble when it was in my city, and then I went to, which those tickets were given to me, and then I went to, what was that show called? Like Fastlane, like 3 years ago.
Fastlane.
Those are the only shows I've been to.
I've never been to a pay-per-view. I've never been to a WWE pay-per-view. I've done TV and
AJ said, Danny, that's embarrassing. Don't tell people that.
Yeah. I will say, the big
show. My dad went. It was a bonding experience. Y'all not gonna make me feel bad for taking free tickets to do something with my dad in my city, okay?
I got free front row tickets to a WWE live event before, and I was in college. But the main event was AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe, and I went backstage and I got to talk to AJ Styles, and I got to talk to
the gay community.
The gay community. Wow, we talked about college football, and he came to find me after the show was over and take a selfie.
All right.
So yeah.
Oh, I had something
I've ever met.
I had something great.
What? Are you muted?
No, I was gonna say something mean, but not mean about you.
Oh.
I was gonna. First wrestler I ever met was Adam Cole. Shout out my goat. When you're feeling better, come on Black Girl Wrestling.
Yeah.
Wait, what was I gonna say? Oh, are you gonna go to the G1 in Chicago?
If I don't go to any other show this year, I'm going to that, bro. I'm gonna be honest. If I don't go to any other show this year, I think that is the show worth going to. And like anybody that I've met that went to G1 in Dallas, they always talk about it like it was the craziest show ever. Just like experience that in person is unreal on American soil. And like New Japan has announced that it's going to be all tournament matches. Yeah. So like, every match is going to be, even though I do believe that I want them to just throw in one women's match, like I would like an IWGP Women's Championship match for that Chicago crowd, if possible, maybe. But yeah, no, you have to go. Yeah, you have to go.
Me?
Yes.
I'm cool off wrestling right now.
But still, like it's not even for like the wrestling part. It's really a girls trip thing. Like I think like I know
Chicago's so close for me. It doesn't feel like a girls trip. It feels like an obligation. I have so little feet. I'm kidding.
But all the girls are coming.
What else? What?
I said all the girls are coming.
Like who? I don't know anyone.
Jaylen's gonna be there. I think we can convince Chloe to come. Yeah.
Okay, what else on this show was of note? Because I'm half asleep.
I want to talk about the women's division. I want to spend the rest of the time talking about that. Friends, pals,
Please.
buddies. I'm not happy. I'm not happy. I'm just going to be honest. I'm not happy. I feel like when you have such a shocking announcement that like the one that came out last week that the ace, I don't and it's reductive to call her the ace of the women's division because Toni Storm really is the ace of AEW. She's everywhere. Just like Mox is everywhere and everybody's business and everything. Tony's everywhere. You know, she adds a light to so many spaces on the card to where it's really hard to quantify. And so when you announce that somebody like that is out indefinitely, I feel like the way that your women's division specifically is booked the following week is a statement of how shit's about to go in her absence. And this statement was, I'm, I don't, I, we're not serious. We're not serious. You
No.
mean to tell me we got a world title match on this card? That didn't main event. Sure. What I mean, Thekla and Mina. Sure. Okay. I like the match, by the way. It's not even anything against them. But what else do we have on the card? We have a mixed tag match. Skyflight versus Death Riders. Who are the focal points on the women's side? Zeta Steel and Marina Shafir. Listen, both of these women are improving, especially Zeta. I'm gonna be honest, Zeta's looked good. She's not like the one of the greatest workers on the roster, but I do think like I've seen her still.
No, she's 22.
Yeah. But she's definitely improved since the first time I saw her wrestle when, that first Marigold show. However, we've gotten to the point to where people are getting more time and opportunities off potential than they are off of results. We have people who we know can produce, who have produced before, who always produce when they get opportunities. They're not even being seen. Willow Nightingale is booked for another tag team title match before she's booked for another TBS title match, the title she actually has.
And she's not even a tag champion anymore.
We are running back the same match over and over again. And the thing is, you have teams. I know, and it's the thing is like I one of the things I hate about AEW around this time of year is that there is clear that there's some people do have a long-term direction for All In or whatever they plan. But until we get there, it's going to be so slow. Last year, a good example of it was Tony Mariah. Well, not last year, the year before last.
Yeah, it was drawn out.
And I think that's how Mercedes, we just was just doing anything with the TBS title. And it was cool at first because we was bringing in challengers from Stardom and all these different places. And it was exotic and it was fun. But then you realize, bro, there's no plan. There's no plan.
And that's a whole division right now.
AEW will plan out a beginning and an end for a storyline, and it'll be the beginning and end will be glorious, but that middle, good God, terrible. And I just feel like we are at this point, bro. I'm just so frustrated. I think like because Brawling Birds are right there. Yeah, sure, a Wembley pop would be great, but they could still be. Let them be the incoming champions. I don't know. They can walk in there as champions.
That's the frustrating part to me because that could not more clearly and obviously be the team that's going to be, the ones that dethrone. But Wembley is in August. It is March. And the idea that you're writing it so cleanly on the wall for us, and like that's one of the reasons that there's so many criticisms that you can level against AEW's treatment of the women's division versus the men, but like we just sat here and talked to all of these different possibilities on the men's side of what could take place, and all these people that are being built up to. Yes, well, we think it should be Kenny, but it could be Darby, and it might be, who knows? Maybe they pull a fast one and they keep it as MJF and like whatever, all these different options. AEW always books their women's division as if they have no choices. This is what frustrates me. And like, I think honestly, the Babes of Wrath versus Megan Bain, and at first it was Penelope Ford and now it's Lena Cross, like that is a perfect example of, oh, you really don't know what to do because we've seen this match or an iteration of this match at this point for weeks, if not months. It's lazy. You book yourself into a corner and you wait and you hope and you hope and you hope that something will change or something will be interesting that gets sparked within it. And it's actually ridiculous. And I think Stat's whole title reign was just emblematic of that. Was just, well, we'll book her to be champion. And then
and I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't completely convinced that Thekla was going to hold the title much longer if Tony realistically got back into the women's world title picture. Like I thought that it very much seemed like we are back on the road to doing Mercedes versus Tony too. And like I think that they wanted to, you know, especially if Mercedes ends up winning the Owen again, which I think was the plan. And I think the plan was her to, I think, fight her way back to Tony. The story changes if that person is Thekla, you know. Now I say all that to say I just don't think that they planned for Thekla to even hold the belt this long. And I think that now you have to really, I don't want to say fabricate, but you now have to build in, what are we going to do? Even like the Mina feud is made up, technically, right? It's made up. And so we're doing this. And we know everybody beats Mina. It's not right. Well, you know, everybody beats Mina. There's no plan. And the thing is, you have to wait for Mercedes to drop the rest of her belts. But again, the last belt, what is it? It's the Owen belt. Like, I think, like, you know, the plan was going to be for her to win the Owen, which I'm not mad at. But you just have all these holes now. And all these, and Willow's not defending I don't want to say she's not defending the title. She just defended it, but it's just like everything has been still
feud
deeply, yeah, and it's also still been so deeply connected to the tag titles, right? Like obviously she wrestled twice in one night.
All one.
It's gotten to the point where
convoluted story.
It's so redundant. But the women on screen who are getting most TV time is Marina Shafir,
which is ridiculous because she can't wrestle. And I talked about this in my episode of Black Girl Wrestling, and I know you and I differ on this, and they say she's improving and you enjoy whatever. I don't like seeing her wrestle. I don't think that she is very good at doing that aspect of her job. I think she's incredible at other aspects of her job. When that bell rings, I do not want to see her wrestle. And I think realistically, when you have a program that is built around where the best wrestle, and then you consistently bring out Marina Shafir as if she's supposed to be in that upper echelon, which in my opinion she is not. What you're trying to tell your audience is that she is the best. This is where the best wrestle. When in reality, we've had this conversation a million times over, but like these people are not her peers. Willow Nightingale is not Marina Shafir's peer. Athena is not Marina Shafir's peer. Like Toni Storm is not Marina Shafir's peer. Like the reality is AEW keeps doing things that are uninteresting, uninspired, and you keep providing us with the exact same thing over and over again, and then being like, we ain't got no food in the house. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Oh my God. I just find it incredibly frustrating, and I feel like I've tried to be softer on Marina Shafir because I know, you know, yes, she is developing and she's getting better and she's, you know, putting in the work. She certainly is. But I think that it was really encapsulated to me how much we're missing the mark, how much AEW is missing the mark of what the audience wants when they brought in the one-off of Ronda Rousey. Nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody's interested in that. And to me, that was truly a mark of like, oh, you have no idea what people actually want out of you right now. You've got the disconnect is so big between what you're producing and what people want to see in regards to the women's division that it's actually a little bit ridiculous. And I think it's lazy. I think it is someone who's looking up and down a roster full of talented women and saying, well, what if we gave Julia Hart one more match? No! Do something else! Do something else! Do something else! And I'm not even trying to harp on these people specifically because it's not one person's problem or one or two people's problem. It's like, and what I'm not gonna fault these people for taking the opportunity that's given to them, but the reality is, what you're doing is boring in regards to the women's division. It's boring, and it doesn't have to be.
I think that one of my fears, honestly, is that Mercedes is going to come back and she's going to be what I not she's going to she will be and she should be essentially forced into a position where she is now QB1, which I don't think she has ever been in AEW so far in the women's division, and everything that goes wrong will suddenly be her fault. And
I was gonna say I was gonna add to that QB1 analogy because I think Mercedes being QB1 makes sense, and I think that she will carry it well. The problem is she has no backup.
Correct.
That's the issue. It's like, okay, no, like you went all in on, like, I'm not gonna say Tom Brady because I hate Tom Brady. You went all in on like a Peyton Manning or all in on like a fucking, I don't know, Lamar Jackson. And then you said we don't have any money to pay any backups at all.
Absolutely.
Right? Like somebody said it. We had a super chat that I agreed with. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just get really worked up because I'm tired of having this conversation. You know, like do something.
There is no backup quarterback. Mercedes was the backup quarterback to Tony. There is no number 3.
And there
should be. Essentially, Chris Statlander should be number 3 by now after beating both of them. She's not.
She's not. And
it's more charismatic, but that doesn't mean that she's like number 3.
You should make an argument that it's Willow, but Willow's never been booked.
Willow is popular, but she doesn't have Willow's resume is very impressive. But the biggest detraction from her resume is length. All of her reigns are so short, are undeveloped, are undercooked. Of all of the titles that she's ever had,
she's never been world champion. It's hard to hand you the ball when, you know, and that's of no fault of her own. It's just a reality of being consistently undervalued.
Absolutely.
It's that now when we need other people to step up, it's saying, actually, we haven't built any of these people up enough for this to make sense. My solution. Well, you want to read the super chat?
Yeah.
I have to go. I'm going to pass out. Marina is the female Hook. Same lack of improvement in the same amount of time with the company and same lack of charisma, but it's about who you know. I got to be honest, Michael. I'm not sure about, you know, who she knows. I'm not going to say anything like that. Yeah. Do I completely understand the Marina Shafir and Hook comparison? Yes. Yes, I do.
Okay, I want to be clear. I think this comparison is slightly unfair. And the reason why I say this is from an in-ring perspective, I do understand. I completely agree with you, like 1000%. But I do believe that Marina Shafir is a much more entertaining on-screen character than Hook, like by landslide.
Oh, when they ring the bell, you can swap them out.
Correct. Correct. I agree. But thank you for the super chat. Thanks for $5. But yeah, I kind of just feel like TK never. And it just shows, it's a testament to just how rock solid Toni Storm had been, you know, of just how just unbreakable, like she was just so dependable, you know.
She's been world champion 4 times.
And each reign was better than the last.
And she has been, yes, and she's as a consequence, she has always been, world champion or not, the break glass in case of emergency. Now you don't have that. And we used to say it on this show as well. Like, what, like, you would hope that your fave got involved with Toni Storm, because that meant y'all was going to be on TV. Whether she had the title or not, Toni Storm is going to be on TV.
Which is also, I feel like the biggest mistake was, I don't know who made the decision, who recommended it, but I think that a huge mistake was made when Toni dropped the title. Yeah, and rather than use her star power to either build the tag division or have a non-title feud with a woman on the roster who could have really used it, we used all of the Toni Storm glow and energy and light and love on Orange Cassidy and Shafir.
And look, Toni Storm is an incredible wrestler. She's not a miracle worker. What none she could do. One none she could do. And it's not a responsibility. And we've said it on the show too. Like, you cannot just rely, like, you book women shittily in the women's division, and then you take the top stars from the women's division and you ask them to reheat the men's mid card. That's insane and lazy, and you suck. Like,
somebody said, what if Mercedes leaves? What if she's silently thinking to herself, this is terrible, I can't say this? Here's the thing. I want you to think about what's happening across the pond right now. Over in on the other side. Have you seen what's coming out of that AEW, not AEW, that WWE women's locker room right now?
Grass ain't greener.
This
bro, go ahead and water it here, girl.
They would have, the thing is, the problem with, and I might be slightly biased, but I think that if we're going pound for pound, talent for talent, roster for roster, I think the AEW women's division is like the most talented roster in America, like hands down, of just the parts. The problems that we have with the roster is which parts are being used, of just
the problem. The AEW
the talent is there.
We don't have real thinkers backstage.
Yes, the talent.
We got real workers in the ring and no thinkers backstage.
Let me tell you something about Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks was carrying that division on her back. She was that was a miracle worker. The matches that she was being forced to have. The thing is, when that a lot of people didn't think it was going to happen, but most of the women from the AEW women that have been put in front of Mercedes, they've been able to keep up with her. Most now you do have some shitters here and there.
I agree, and I that's why I say I don't think Mercedes is the one you need to be worried about leaving.
No,
it's gonna be someone who hasn't gone over there yet.
Correct.
Who looks at this and says, I'm gonna keep doing the same shit, because that's what it is. It's like,
and I think here's the thing. I think it's pretty clear, like, who's gonna be,
or at least who it would make sense for.
Who it would make sense. Does she actually leave? I don't think so. Maybe, but I think also too.
But like, could you falter?
If she want to make them sweat a little bit, yeah, dude. Jamie Hayter. See, y'all missing the plot. All right, never mind. Maybe he's not as obvious. Maybe he's not. We're
talking about that.
Jamie Hayter's going to Wembley. That's already done.
British.
Yeah, she's British. No, yeah, she's British.
That's an extra 2 years. That's an added 2 years. I'm telling you, y'all get that British people that Wembley contract. Ain't nobody leaving after that. Mariah May was an exception because she always wanted to go. I'm telling you. The rest of these people, don't bring up the dentist around here. I swear to God, we were having a fun little time, guys. Another super chat.
If WWE wanted Britt Baker, they would have her.
Yeah, same with. Oh, I can't say
that. They cordoned Toni off away from the rest of the division with Marina and didn't help the other women tell stories for 5 months. Yep. Blood and
guts. They actually did the same thing with Mariah.
Correct.
And we talked about it then too. Also, thank you for your super chat.
Thank you so much.
But yeah, they did the same thing with Mariah because they they have the top women of the division exist in a silo, compared to how they book the men's division. And as a result, you're never really seeing new faces in the main event scene on the women's side.
I
Even though
think
you have all this talent, it's just a cycle.
It's been embarrassing during several points of the last few years that Athena was not a regular player on AEW TV. Now you look fucking crazy.
It's ridiculous.
You look crazy.
It had been ridiculous before. Like, and anyone who has seen her wrestle knew that it was ridiculous. Now you're at a point where, brother, we need to do something. And you not gonna call Athena? Are you fucking serious?
And I think that that's also the problem of you had her lose to both Mercedes and Tony last year. And if she had at least beat one of them on one occurrence, it would filling her in to be the new backup quarterback would be seamless. And I'm not saying it can't be done, but
it's gonna have to be done.
It needs to be. I know that TK be having these projects of these girls he really want to develop. Let me tell you something. No. The people that's gonna be who are able to be in that upper tier, they gotta be vets. Like they have to be vets. Like Tony, Mercedes, Tina, these all these people have been in the game at least 15 years or more. Like, you know, you gotta have real vets, real girls with real experience, like honest to God. And I'm not saying that all of these people that you're investing in, they're not going to end up being superstars. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying,
when I'm passing the ball off, it's not a rookie.
And look over to the men's side of just like even the younger people in the main event scene. MJF, Kyle Fletcher, these people have all been wrestling at least 10 years. All these people have been wrestling such a long time. Like they've been wrestling such a long time. If you look at the Dynasty, Osprey, Swerve, Hangman, like these people, it's a reason why they're trusted in these positions is because they've shown results. And
the idea that you don't trust Athena is outlandish.
And here's the thing. When I see how much ROH has grown in a positive direction, I don't think that that's possible if she had not stayed and been that guiding presence for the brand.
100%.
I can't even fault you for keeping the belt on her as long as you did, because she's accomplished so much. Like she really accomplished a lot with Ring of Honor that she might never get credit for, but she opened doors and she did.
And I that's why to me you've got somebody, one of the best in the world, who works for you, consistently delivers, and has for years, is saying, give me the ball in a time where you don't have a quarterback, and you're like, I don't know, guys. Are you like, it's just it really, y'all about to piss me off. Like, and I was already upset about this in general, but like this at this point is ridiculous. If you don't have a spot for her at Wembley, like I'm gonna start having much bigger, broader conversations.
Oh, now I'm gonna be honest. If Athena's not on the Wembley card, like I'm starting a nasty agenda, because like that's literally the only venue she's missing to complete
the nastiest campaign. And I can't say that. Internet is public and permanent. But I am about to fall asleep. Does anyone have anything else to add first?
Guys, what have I been doing with my time? I've been watching 911.
Oh my God. Can I just say, before she gets into it, I want to say, congratulations to me for being so annoying about so many things that they rub off on my friends. 911 is one of those things. The group chat has managed to convince Lyric to really get into it. My terrible little firefighter show, I love it bad.
Guys, I want you to know, this is how people got to know, like, Me and Dani are really friends because unfortunately I've adopted so many of her hyper fixations. It's actually kind of crazy of just like I get the worst type of FOMO. So like we in our group chat, I get the worst FOMO of like if they're talking about something that like I didn't know about, like even like for example, I think like I saw heated rivalry because of like other people's tweets, and then like eventually like when like
hey, what's like, going on over here?
Jayla's like, oh, I read the books. I'm like, books? Wow, there's books. Please, guys, help. Then like everybody's watching hockey. Oh my god, like please download the lore. Dani told me something about F1 that I'm still scared about to this day. And then like
you'll learn more. Don't worry.
Everybody's and then Bad Bunny was my number one artist for last month, which is crazy.
Like, guys, what I'm hearing is that like I'm an influencer. That's what I'm hearing.
I just unfortunately
you've been influenced.
Yes, but like it's like neurodivergent influence of just like, okay, anybody who's
works.
Anybody who's awake at the hours that I'm awake and willing to talk about this stuff, then okay, maybe it might be kind of cool. Like, just like, oh, but you got to be willing to tell me the lore at 3 a.m. Like, like.
But once you meet my sunshine, Evan Buckley, you just can't forget him. Like that's my white boy.
He's my new emotional support. Listen, Evan Buckley. Evan Buckley, I have a plan. I'm going to get us out of the gutter. And it's crazy because I'm watching season 9 and I'm watching season 4 and working my way up concurrently. I haven't done that since I started watching. That was kind of how I watched Doctor Who for the first time.
He's like, only through his first set of horrors and you're watching 9.
Yeah, like I watched like as a Doctor Who fan, I got into it during Matt Smith's first season. So I watched seasons 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 rather than like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But yeah, so anybody who's a 911 fan, I don't tweet about it. I'm gonna be honest. Some of my interests I don't tweet about just because like people get really weird. I haven't tweeted a lot recently.
I can't contain myself.
Well, I'll tweet about it, just not here on my main.
I gotta let the world know.
I've been watching so much real sports lately. I've been watching NHL hockey, Go Pens, and I've been watching PWHL. I think I'm a Golden Eyes fan. I've been watching a lot of Vancouver, and watching March Madness because
I haven't watched any basketball. I watched South Carolina play, and that's it. Let me see.
I haven't watched a ton of games, but South Carolina, that's what I'm rooting for.
New Spider-Man. We'll talk about that next week because I need to get into Spider-Man. Yeah,
I still haven't seen the trailer, so thank you. Thank you for waiting, guys.
We will put that. Make sure we have something for next week. And I was gonna announce everybody. The next guest on Black Girl Wrestling is do a drum roll. It's gonna be on April 1st, and I know people aren't gonna believe me because I like to lie a lot. It's Willow Nightingale. Everybody clap.
Whee!
So make sure that you watch Black Girl Wrestling on April 1st. Maybe I'm lying, maybe I'm not. Featuring our GOAT and TBS champion. But guys, that's an exclusive only for people who watch the Dynamite Diaries. You get the first invitation. Ooh!
Oh my gosh, that felt so good, especially after watching the reunion.
Wow. My sisters and I do it all the time. Ooh.
But yeah.
Yes, we love you so much. We will see you next week. The theme of next week is...
honestly, it really depends on how 911 goes tomorrow night. Stay tuned.
Oh, Lord. The theme of next week is horror. Okay, love you, bye.